morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm Paula. I work at Sanitas, and today I have the pleasure to be moderating this session, Open Innovation and Venture Building, Shaping the Future of Healthcare. So today we will be discovering how Sanitas Ventures is leveraging open innovation and venture building to drive transformative healthcare solutions and improve patients' outcomes. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our panel today. So here with me I have Adrián Heredia. He is the CEO and founder of Build, pioneer in corporate venture building here in Spain, with over 7 years of experience creating companies, innovative companies from scratch, alongside major companies such as Caser, Telefónica, Porsche, Sanitas, of course, among many others. We also have Sofía Arancón, Senior Manager at Plug and Play. Plug and Play is one of the most active VCs globally. They have the largest innovation platform in the world and are a reference in open innovation. And last but not least, we have Manu Vázquez. He is the head of data and innovation at Sanitas, who, along with Alejandro Castillejo, head of Sanitas Ventures, who unfortunately wasn't able to join us today, have been shaping and evolving this disruptive ecosystem or area at Sanitas. As you'll know, a leader in healthcare. And so I think it's pretty obvious that I'm in really good company. So I think we're ready to start. So if it's okay, Manu, I'll start with you just to set the tone and start the conversation. Could you tell us what exactly is Sanitas Ventures?
Well, Sanitas Ventures is our most innovative team in Sanitas. It's a team dedicated at Sanitas to bring innovation in something as relevant as improve the health of our customers. It also pursues another second objective, which is to position Sanitas not only as a specialist in healthcare company, which is already it, but also as a leader in innovation. And we believe that Sanitas Venture don't just only follow the market, it can create a market. Everybody knows the big amount of opportunities that are emerging now in the healthcare market and insurance market. And in Sanitas, we want to go one step ahead. We want to be the ones who design the future, of course, of our company and the future of our industry. And Sanitas Ventures has three different verticals. The first one is a venture building vertical. The second one is an open innovation one, and the third one is an entrepreneurship area. But the most important thing is, thanks to this area, thanks to Sanitas Ventures, this structure, we are able to detect what are our main pain points, our main challenges, and not only that, provide innovative solutions that can respond to that challenges. Of course, innovative solutions that are aligned with the company strategy, with the needs of our professionals, and more important, the demand of our customers.
Thank you, Manu. I think that provided a really good overview. So if it's okay, next, let's dive first into the specifics of venture building. So I don't know if you could tell us, how does the venture building process work at Sanitas?
Okay, it's important to understand that this process involves, as you said, create new businesses from scratch. And all starts, again, identifying what are the opportunities, again, in the healthcare sector, and, of course, in the insurance sector. And, well, the process is, to make this possible, we run an interviews process with, let's say, our internal business leaders, main stakeholders, people who really knows very, very well the company, the industry, the trends, okay? And with all that information, now we know what are, let's say, the territories we should put our effort, our resources, our investment. And once you know what are the main territories we should put our focus, with all that information from that interviews, you can discard others, and next step is really easy to run an ideation process in these territories take ideas and, more important, ideas, of course, of new ventures and new possible business, and more important, validate that idea. That this is high level the process.
I would say that it's not that easy.
No.
From the methodology perspective, once we have identified the territory, the growth territory in where we want to build things, we kind of divide the venture building process in three main phases. The first one is called insights, where we find the business concept that we want to build. In order to do that, we run a discovery process not only to understand the territory, let's say, for example, obesity or parenting, but it's very focused on problem discovery. And that's when we start ideating and defining some possible ideas that can be venturizable. I mean, that it makes sense to build a business from scratch. And this is something that we want to dive in a few minutes, because it's kind of tricky, because you are building a thing that is related to diversification. Then, when we have decided the business that we want to build, we start validating the business. So we run, let's say, for 4 to 6 months, testing hypotheses, testing technology, acquiring the first clients, making sure that the go-to-market is built well. We identify the channels for acquisition and so on. And once we feel that we have reduced the risk to make a decision, we create a business plan and we decide if we want to build a company or not. This is the third stage, in where we definitely build a company, build a team, and support, obviously, the team until the company is fully integrated into the corporate or outside in the street.
Thank you. I think we start getting a better idea. So now my question is, what kind of ventures do you build and why?
Okay, well, I think that the main key point here is try to find new businesses that let us to expand the corporate growth opportunities. Okay, this means businesses that let us to reach new kind of customers, to enter in new kind of markets, and of course, since we are operating in healthcare and insurance, most of the time we are focused on these two areas, but not 100% of the time. Okay, we can try another different areas, but 90% of the time we are focused on these areas.
We like to a term that is the universe of diversification, and this is something that is very different from one corporate to another, and this is something that also evolves with the same corporate over time. When we're talking about creating new businesses, usually these kind of businesses are outside of the core of the company, because otherwise the way to go is basically through open innovation or internal innovation projects or R&D or M&A, for example. What is the universe of diversification? It's very difficult to say. It's a kind of a gray area that comes from a lot of discussions, a lot of hours, and really by understanding the corporate. So sometimes we go there and say, what are your territories of growth? And they say, okay, I have a PowerPoint from McKinsey here. Take it and let's build things. But sometimes not. Sometimes we are the ones that we need to work together to understand those territories. I was saying that it's a gray area because some term or some territory like obesity can be treated both internally and with venture building. Obesity is obvious that is something related to the core for a healthcare company like Sanitas. But you can build things outside of the core. How? By understanding things like the impact of a brand, of creating a new brand or for example, to reach a new segment of customers. The ability to leverage some kind of assets that are outside of the company, the ability to be able to grow outside of the market in where you are operating, for example, to be able to incorporate entrepreneurs that wants to feel incentivized. It's another reason to build a company outside of the main corporate, and also to attract another corporates or investors to bring together those assets to make the thing bigger. So yeah, it's very important to not only to understand the territory at the beginning, but to keep asking ourselves questions about the next ones and how these strategic areas are evolving while the corporate evolves and the market obviously evolves.
Okay, my next question is for you, Adrian. I don't know if you could tell us in what ways does corporate venture building help, in this case Sanitas, perhaps other companies too, leverage their internal resources and expertise in order to explore new business opportunities?
Okay. Yeah, in my opinion, the main thing about corporate venture building, working with corporates is hard. And maybe you ask, why are you working with corporates? The main thesis or the main thing here for us is that we understand, we feel that corporates have a lot of assets, such as clients, distribution, obviously know-how, resources, technology, IP, brand, that can be leveraged in these new businesses and change completely the rules of the game. We say that we can compete very aggressively with street startups if you do execute those things well, because we all like to say that corporates are very slow and they are like dinosaurs and they don't innovate and so blah blah blah. But we need to understand how the organization works, and it's not only important to define those assets. Obviously, when we both identify those businesses, we take into account not only the strategy or the market, but also the assets that the corporate has. This is something that we really put into the ideation process. But Excel can say what you want, but in the reality, it's very difficult to activate those assets because you need to work together with marketing teams, with compliance, because you are leveraging Sanitas clients, and this is something very difficult to transfer that data to a new company. Maybe you are creating a company over a technology that is owned by the corporate, so you need to understand how to transfer this technology. It's a very difficult process. So for us, the main goal is basically to understand the organization and work before we need to be in relationship with those departments or those business units. You need to have them really on board, because otherwise the pillar in where you build the house is not stable. And obviously when you start seeing the results in the first year of the business plan, it's something that is not going to work because you don't have those work streams really well defined.
Okay, I think we already have a really good idea of that vertical, so I think it's a good time to jump to open innovation. So, Sophia, I know you have plenty of experience working with many corporate partners all across the world, so I'm curious to know, what makes Sanitas different from the rest?
Thank you, Paula. And first of all, thank you very much for inviting me here to the panel. It's a privilege to be here. About your question, so Sanitas has extremely good processes. So we started working with Sanitas, or with you, a few months ago. And from the start, we realized that you have a really well-set methodology. As Manuel and Adrián were explaining, you work very close to the business units and really focus on making a real impact, right? So all of the open innovation collaboration with the startups that you have is focused on having an impact on the business. And they not only involve the business units from the beginning, but also other key players like the legal and the procurement teams that sometimes are so important, no? Like Adrian was explaining, it's really important to have them on board. And then what I also like about Sanitas as well is that they really promote the culture of innovation within the company. And even though they are already really good, they are still willing to learn and really they want to get better, like you were saying. And this collaboration is working really well because we exchange know-how, best practices, and of course they can leverage on our scouting muscle because as it is normal, due to lack of resources, they don't have this muscle to do scouting as far. We have 800 people who are constantly looking for new solutions and new startups around the world, and we are helping them with this.
Okay, so I have another question for you, Sofia. So why collaborate with startups? So what's the added value that startups can bring to corporations?
Well, it is always a good idea to work with startups. No, of course, kidding, as Adrian was mentioning, no, sometimes it makes a lot of sense to do venture building or entrepreneurship. But many times, the solutions that you are looking for are already out there. So, and probably you know the thinking behind open innovation is that not all of the smartest people work for you, and not all of the best ideas happen in-house, right? So there are a lot of good ideas out there, there's a lot of talent out there, and it is always good to check first what's going on in the market and to keep an eye on what's happening, right? And then working with startups, basically they help you to mitigate the risk because you have a much cheaper, less resource intensive, and you have to spend much less time to test a new technology because the startup already has it. And think that, for example, if you have to develop a big R&D project in-house, maybe you spend €1 million euros in developing this project, sometimes it's needed, but you're investing a lot of resources, a lot of time in this project, and you don't know upfront what the result is going to be. While if you are working with a startup, or with a couple of startups, maybe you invest €10,000, and just with this, you are able to test the technology. If it's working, great, and then you integrate it, or you see how to collaborate with them. If it's not working, then you just move on to the next one, right? So this is why.
I think it makes a lot of sense, definitely. So I don't know if you could tell us, what is the current status of the Open Innovation project between Sanitas and Plug and Play? And also for the startups in the audience, what kind of companies, if you can tell us, that can align with Sanitas requirements?
Mm-hmm. So right now we are in the scouting phase of the project. We started working, as I said, a couple of months ago. What we did first was to sit down together with the business units. We sat down with more than, I think it was with 11 business units and more than 30 key players within Sanitas who were telling us about their challenges and their pains. Based on this, we collected a list of, I think it was 115 challenges, so really a lot. And we prioritized them based on a set of criteria. So we shortlisted them. We pick our top together with the team, and we selected the 4 challenges that we think that are going to have the most impact in the short and medium term for the business units. And for the startups that we are looking for right now, so right now we are working, our first challenge has to do with the dental business unit, so we are looking into this area. But I'm inviting any startup in the healthcare industry here in the audience to please come to us later. We can discuss because for sure, if we cannot collaborate now, we will be able to collaborate in the future.
Thank you, Sofia. And coming back to you, Manu, and trying to wrap up this really exciting conversation, could you share with us what are your main challenges for this year, 2024, and beyond? So perhaps give us a little spoiler of what's to come.
We have a lot of challenges. Adrian and Sofia said some of them, but I will highlight 2 of them. And always, every year, we have the same challenge. First one is lack of innovation culture. In the end, We are a corporation, okay, and it happens a lot. There is a lack of innovation culture that we suffer a lot. And the second one, probably I would say that lack of resources, because, and it's derivated from the other one, lack of innovation culture give us bring us a lack of innovation resources. So we have to demonstrate again and again that this is the way. And for me, this is the thing that I suffer much I suffer a lot in my position, and that are the two main challenges that
I would say that when Sanitas came to us last year, they wanted to do it well. We used to work with corporates that, you know, motivated by marketing or let's say bullshit drivers. They say, I want to build corporates because companies, or run pilots, or run hackathons, or blah, 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 because my boss is telling me to do so because he read it in the newspaper, or, you know, maybe, whatever. Sanitas was very clear. They wanted to do it well, off the radar. So we were working together for more than 1 year, you know, without having a website, without launching Sanitas Ventures, and nothing. Really working, like Manu said, to demonstrate the leadership and ourselves that we could do it well. And now I would say the main challenge is to scale these processes that we all of us created. We didn't talk about entrepreneurship, but there is a very important track for us as well. We have some entrepreneurs around here, and entrepreneurship is a vertical that feeds the other two ones, because from an entrepreneurship program you can identify a new business and then run a venture building process, or and also from an entrepreneurship process you can identify a challenge or something that is interesting to run scouting mission, to find technologies or companies. We have a lot of news that we want to share as the result of the work of the previous years, but you know the legal department is not pre-aligned with us sharing them. So we need to work on that.
Yeah. Yes, but to be honest, I think that it happens in every corporation. Lack of innovation culture, saying resistance to the change, saying resistance, and I would say that everybody is fighting against these two topics.
Same battles, yes. Well, thank you very much. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you, Manu. Thank you, Sofia. And thank you, Adrian. Obviously, thank you to the audience for being interested in our session. I hope you found this conversation very insightful and that you've learned from our experts. I think we've had a really interesting conversation learning how startups and corporations, apparently two different worlds, can really create valuable synergies and benefit from each other. So just to conclude this session, I would like to invite the startups and the innovation partners in the corporate world to reach out to Sanitas Ventures. We're really excited to see what are the potential collaborations that can emerge from these connections. And also very important, Sanitas Ventures is going to start being really active in social media, different communication channels. So stay tuned, because this is just the beginning. The best is yet to come, and I know there's a really exciting journey ahead of them. So yes, keep an eye. And thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.